Hi, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. I want to do an In the News segment, and I was thinking about who should I do it on? What should I do it? And I said, why am I not doing it on Joe Biden? Probably the most important person in the world right now. So on so many levels. Um, so I thought maybe we could take a look at Joe and we'll look at his astrology. We'll look at his numbers. And if it's not too long, I'll do a card reading, but I'll timestamp it. And sometimes I get on these tangents and I just go and I realize I don't have time for the card reading. So if that is the case, I will do it separately, but you will know because I'll put it all up together. All right. Let's take a look at Joe's chart. All right. So this is actually his chart and his solar return, which is actually today. I'm doing this on the 19th. His birthday is officially the 20th, but his solar return this year is on the 19th. Okay. Oh, no, wrong one. No, 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 no. Where's Joe? Sorry. Sorry. Where's Joe? Joe, where'd you go? All right. I know where Joe is. I didn't pull him up as I should have. Okay, there's Joe. Recognize that chart anywhere. So, of course, let's take a look at Joe. Just generally, I've looked at this, I've looked at his chart before, I've done other videos on his chart, but it's always, you may not have seen those. And so let's take a look and see what we have. We have a plethora of energy in the 12th house. If you remember Vladimir Putin's chart, he also has a plethora of planets in the 12th house. The 12th house is the most collective house. And people who have a lot of 12th house placements generally, in some level, live their life in a very public way, even though it's a very like sort of mysterious place, because their life is about the collective and it's about working for the collective. And some people work for the collective in what might seem to be evil ways. But of course, they have their own lessons with this. It's not just what they're doing for other people. And some people have a more positive expression. I mean, if we look at Donald Trump has his Mars and his Pluto in this house. Barack Obama had his Jupiter and Saturn in this house. George W. Bush had his Saturn and his Sun in this house, I believe. Um, I'm not sure Bill Clinton had anything in this house. This is like presidents off the top of my head. Um, but you'll usually see a 12th house placement for somebody who it has a significant place in the world, or you hear about them in the world. Joe Biden's North Node is in the 9th house in Virgo. That's the problem solver in places far away. And we can see that he's done a pretty good job with that. He also, of course, has all the Scorpio in the 12th house. Scorpio is a water sign, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Mars. So all his inner planets and Mars, which is on the other side of the Earth, but is still considered a personal planet. In Scorpio, which is the sign of transformation and change. And so he brings an energy of transformation to the world. And in the wide world, it's not just like, the 10th house, his career, or the 9th house, the faraway places, or the 8th house, banking and insurance, or, or something like that. No, it's quite collective. It's the whole world. It's the 12th house, the most collective place. And of course, there's a lot of things going on in opposition to his planets in that house right now. We have Uranus at about 21 degrees of Taurus. It will go direct in January. So it will station. When those planets station, they create a lot of energy, especially Uranus. And it's usually surprising. Um, he has his South Node in Pisces. So in the last degree of Pisces, last 8 minutes of Pisces, the nodes of the moon move backwards. And so this is somebody who understands what it means to let go, right? Pisces. And of course, he has all this 12th house energy in Scorpio, the planet of letting go. I mean, the sign of letting go, in the house of letting go. And his South Node is all about letting it go. Really, this man doesn't have that much of an ego, at least at this point in his life. He had to have an ego to get where he was and where he is. But at this point, he's like, it's nothing personal. It's literally nothing personal for Joe. Um, Not to say that what happens to his family doesn't affect him, because if he does have a kryptonite, it's the people he loves, right? Like any good soul who loves as deeply as Joe Biden does. And of course, that's the main reason I think they go after Hunter, is because they know it's probably one of the few things. Like, you can't really say anything to Joe because Joe doesn't. He's like, I'm 80 freaking 1 years old. Leave me freaking alone. I'm gonna do my. I only have a certain amount of time. I got to get this done. And but it has to be hard for him to see his family under scrutiny like this. But um and we can see what it costs these politicians and their family. I mean, look at Paul Pelosi. He nearly got killed. um and the Republicans didn't say I'm sorry. They're like, oh well, what was this guy doing at 12 o'clock at night in the guy's house? Like, yeah, breaking in. I think it's called breaking in, guys. It's just, I guess you have to see just how base people are going to get at the end of a cycle like this. Just to see, just so people can bear witness to that, and like just hopefully turn things around to heal all that stuff. Right? He does have Chiron up in Leo, conjunct his North Node in that ninth house. He does have a stutter. That could be the Chiron in Leo, trouble expressing himself. He had Venus station retrograde on that Chiron. That Chiron is still really well, yeah, is still in a yod to Neptune and Pluto. That's a long-standing um, no yod, but he also, Chiron in Leo is a broken heart, but it's also the healed heart. And he's the 46th president of the United States, and in the tree of life that falls, the 46th vibration falls in the heart chakra, in Tipreth, in beauty. So he represents that. He represents um, that love, and that 46 one vibration in the system I use is a Scorpio vibration, and he is a Scorpio. And in point of fact, it's the second decan of Scorpio, and he has his Mars there. And of course, Mars is is one of the co-rulers of Scorpio, so it's powerfully placed. So this is somebody who gets things done in ways that, and people are like, how did he do that? Like, no fuss, no muss, really. They just get done. And they get done, I think, because he applies himself and he surrounds himself with people. I think Joe Biden is a good judge of character, and he probably has the right people around him. He also has an awful lot of women around him. And if you want things to get done, you got to ask the ladies. Um, his Pluto is conjunct the United States North Node. So he's a figure that would transform the United States. Of course, Trump's Pluto is also there, but not as close. Not as close. Trump's Pluto is at 10. Um, his Pluto is at 7, and I think the South Node of the United States is at 6. So he's closer in that respect. He is going to be having a Uranus return soon. Uranus will be going into Gemini in a year or so. Next year, the year after that. Um, We have Saturn in Gemini. This can also be the stutter, difficulty in communication, but also having to work at communication and have to be understood. To be understood. Moon in Taurus, that's good. Stubborn. Moon in Taurus. Taurus is stable and emotional is like steady, right? Steady, which is good with all that Scorpio. And he has Jupiter in Cancer, so he's really like a big softie. He would love to feed the whole world, this guy. He would love to feel the whole world. All right, so let's take a look at his solar return. This is not the one. Nope, maybe that was the one. I'm sorry, that wasn't. Here we go. Solar return Biden 81. No, that's not the one. 81. 2023. So this is his solar return. I put it for Washington. I'm not sure he's in Washington. I read that he might be in Virginia, which is near Washington. So we're just going to say Washington. That he would have celebrated his birthday in Washington. I don't think he's further away than it's either going to be Delaware, Washington, or Virginia, I think. But if anybody knows and wants to correct me, let me know. And so the ascendant would be off in that case. But let's assume that this is where he's going to be. We have the sun in the fourth house. So fourth house is the home, is the homeland, right? And so with the sun there, he's going to be putting a lot of effort and energy into the homeland, which is interesting because he's got a lot of his attention is being drawn to the Middle East, right? He does have Eris up there. Eris is up there, and I say Eris because I know she's like right here, conjunct the North Node in the ninth house. So this is revolution and revolt in places far away. He does have Jupiter there in Taurus this year, and it's retrograde. So this is I think aid, but it's well thought out aid perhaps. He has his moon in Aquarius this year, and it's conjunct the Sibley moon of the United States chart. So there's another indication that his heart is really with the people, with the American people. Now his south node, I mean his Saturn is there next to his moon. So this can be it's far enough away. It's about 8 degrees. So that's good that it's not or 7. I can't do math in my head. Sorry, I think it's 7 degrees. Still a conjunction, but much better than if it was like right on top, right? But this is also in the seventh house of this is making real strides in peace and compromise and talking things over and the like. Let's see what else we do have Uranus in the 10th house here. This could be surprises, surprise directions that he takes, perhaps. Sudden change in his persona, how he's seen. Venus in Libra. Venus, of course, being the planet that sort of speaks to diplomacy and things like that, right? And he does have a Leo rising, so his solar return, which is looking at the sun, has a rising sign that's ruled by the sun. So this is a significant year for him. And of course, Leo is an energy of leader. It's an energy of leadership, and it's square this Uranus. So he's going to have his challenges from people who are more maybe extreme revolutionary. You know what I mean? To him, maybe more progressive. He's going to have his struggles with progressivism. But progressivism is the wave of the future, and I think that he knows that, and I think he's aware of that. And so I think that he's 81. So let's take speaking of 81, Let me show you something. Okay, I need to share something else. Here, I need to share. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is his numerology. Joe Biden has a 50/5 soul vibration. That's the 10 of cups. That's happiness, happy family. It's a Pisces vibration, compassion, healing, freedom, the freedom to be happy. It is, in fact, the shadow of Putin. He also has an 11 in his soul, which means he's a more advanced soul, which of course, who would become the president of the United States at this time, which would advanced soul. Cosmic justice. He knows that everything sort of evens out, given time. His outer personality is a 48/3. That's the 8 of cups. It's a Pisces vibration. So far we have Pisces, Pisces, and Libra here. And then when we add his outer personality, the 43/8, now 48/3, the 48/3 can be abandonment issues. And it's also the vibration of his eccentric angle, his shadow. And his shadow is one of abandonment. And he knows, he's lost his first wife and his daughter to death. And death is kind of an abandonment. It was shocking, I'm sure he's had his experiences. He lost his son, Bo. He knows a lot about death, but he's a Scorpio and he's got all those planets in the 12th house. And while having a lot of planets in the 12th house doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to know a lot of dead people or have a lot of death in your life. You're going to understand that death is simply a change in a way, in a paradigm, and that you never really lose your connection with loved ones, because love is eternal. These are all things he knows at his core with his outer personality. In Pisces, his soul, Pisces vibration. His path of life is a 47/11. This is the 7 of Cups. It's the only 11 found in the lower part of the tree, and it is a initiation of the personality. And it's a Scorpio vibration. It is the 3rd decan of Scorpio, where he has his Mercury, his Sun, and his Venus. His name, Joe Biden, which of course isn't his full name. His full name is Joseph Robinette Biden. But as we know him as Joe Biden, vibrates to the King of Cups. So the readers are right. Joe Biden, the King of Cups. His expression, how he finds balance with all of this emotionality that he has in his soul and his outer personality, is the 17/8. It's the star card. It's the Aquarius vibration. So it's about like democracy and freedom in America and the hope for a better life for everyone. That's his hope, is for a better life for everyone. And that's what sort of keeps him going, I think. And the fact that he thinks he can do something to help. He's a pragmatic guy. Scorpios will take on stuff that other people wouldn't dare. Now, I want to point out something about Joe Biden's birthday this year. Joe Biden turns 81 this year. This is 81 right there. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yes, we're looking at the same thing. I panicked there for a moment. Can we get that up? Hold on a second. I'm just trying to, oh, I see how to do this. Okay. I'm learning new things from my computer constantly. At 81, he leaves the last line of his wisdom square. Now, many people live it past 81. So the next place he goes is this line right here. It's the same line he was on when he was 18 to 27. But when you get to this point, you're on this line for 18 years. So he's on this line from 81 to 99. And it's a 19-1 vibration. It's the sun. It's the sun vibration. And I want to read something to you about this vibration. So he's on this vibration for 18 years, starting today. The 19-1 is a karmic number. Wherever found in the chart, it is referred to as a destiny number. The destiny means it relates to an experience that you have chosen on your path you cannot avoid. It gives you an opportunity to stand on your own 2 feet, and you will have to use all the positive traits of 1 through 9 to go through the experience. Use the courage, independence, and leadership of the 1 to create humanitarian concepts and brotherly love for all of humanity in every endeavor that is on your path. You will be required to use all of the wisdom of all of the numbers. There has been an abuse of power in the past, and life has brought you to this place to create a balance for yourself and others in this experience. This is an endurance vibration. It brings everything into focus, winds up old accounts, and starts anew. The 19-1 sets up a situation we cannot escape until we have paid in full, pressed down, and running over. The 19-1 teaches us to ask of life no more than we wish to pay. The ancient calls this number the number of surrender, for your life needs to link with the universal life. And he has 4 planets in the house of the universal life. He is the right person. He is the man of the hour and the man at the end of a cycle. His pinnacle, which began in 1994 when he was 52, it's a long time ago, is the Ace of Wands, 27-9. It's the healer. Money also vibrates to 27-9. So he has his own way of generating money. But for him, the money goes to everybody because it's like an Aquarian thing, right? All right, so let's take a look at now on his birthday. So he has been in okay, so 2020 he won his election. That's actually that occurred for him. The election occurred for him while he was still in his 2019 vibration, because his birthday was after the election. And so in 2019 he was in a 43-7 vibration. And when he won, let's see, he would have won here. He was in a 17-8 sub period. That's the star card. He was our hope. Okay. 2020, we had the insurrection. For him, it happened in the first part of his 2020 vibration, because in 2020, on the 20th of November until from the 20th of November to the 20th of March of the next year, which would have been 2021, in that period was the insurrection, right? That occurred when he was in a 19-1 period. He was turning 78 that year. He was in a 35-8 vibration, the vigilant war. This is the 9 of wands, boundaries. Okay. 19-1. He starts his presidency. 19-1, all by himself. It was like him and Kamala and Jill and Kamala's husband and just a couple of people, right? Because of the insurrection, it was all like there wasn't like crowds and crowds. Like he was all by himself, man alone, kind of. Victorious, yeah. Um, and so we come now to in 2022, actually 2021, in his last period, which would have went from 7/20 of 2020. Hold on, 2021. Oh, hold on, no. Wait. I'm trying to think when the Ukraine started. Do I have it here? I don't have when the Ukraine. So the Ukraine started in 2022. It was February 2022. So we'd have to look at his 2021 and February. So here, right here. So in 2022, we had the beginning of the Ukraine war. He was in a 36-9 vibration, which is a Sagittarius vibration, which is the end of a cycle. In a 3 sub-period, 3 is manifestation. This is when the Ukraine happened. And then in 2022, on his birthday, which would have been like 8 or 9 months into the war, he moved into 37-1. That's the King of Cups. Same vibration as Joe Biden, the name Joe Biden. And as we see him often in the cards, the King of Cups. So in that 1 year, in the last period from 7/20 of 2023 to his birthday, 2023, he's an 11-2 vibration. This is justice. This is cosmic justice. This is part of his soul vibration, right? So he's calling in his soul vibration. He's calling in his name vibration. And this is when Hamas attacked Israel, and Israel has done the counterattack in Gaza, the carpet bombing of Gaza. In this vibration, now he moves into today into his new vibration, 3811. This is the Queen of Cups. This is Fen and Bina on the Tree of Life. Bina is the place of the dark night of the soul. It's also an 11, and it's also a Scorpio vibration. Right now, he's in a 7 period. He's going to be in that 7 period till the 20th of the 20th of March, right around when spring begins up here in the Northern Hemisphere. Then he goes into a 10-1 vibration, which is a change and something new. And then from the from the 20th of January, 20th of July to the 11th to November, which includes the period of time with the presidential election. He'll be in a hanged man vibration in a 3811 year. So, and this is a Neptune vibration. So, let's look at his, what do I want to look at now? Let's go back to his astrology. That's what I want to do. Oops. I didn't want to do that, but I did it. All right, let me find his astrology again. If we look at his chart, his regular chart with his solar return of today. So this would be like a transit chart for today for him. We can see that the sun is on the sun. The sun, of course, is on Venus, as it always is. And then we have Mars here on his sun. on his Venus, coming off his Mercury. He just recently had a Mars return. Here's Uranus opposite his Mercury. When this goes direct, that's when I feel like maybe some transformed idea is going to start to move forward for him. I don't know if that's his line on Israel, Hamas thing, or if it's a line with uh, China, or is it a line with Putin and Ukraine? There's definitely something happening. And Uranus opposite his Mercury, his seventh house is ruled by Mercury. And this is your open enemies. So this, who knows, maybe Putin kicks the bucket or something right around that time. And I think that's going to happen in maybe March. I'm not sure though. I'd have to look. But anyway, I said when this beginning of the year starts, gonna really take off. A lot of changes right away. And we're gonna get like we're gonna be like by the time by the time the end of the year is there, we're gonna be like those people on the roller coasters that were like that their hands, they're still trying to like pull their hands off the bar and their hair is like sticking straight up and they have that look on their face and they'll be like, oh my God. But like they survived and they're happy, but it was so exhilarating. And then it was such just everything's so different, everything looks different. That's kind of be us at the end of 2024. We can see Saturn here on the South Node still. He's dealing with issues from the past. Now he is like a figure that is very worldly. So a lot of the world issues are coming to his table. I mean, they're literally on his table to look at, right? So what else? What else? What else? He is willing to go to extremes to help who needs to be helped here. So we'll know that. And Pluto through his second house, it's no longer opposing his Jupiter, although that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's probably what part of what sort of propelled him to actually win the presidency the first time. All right, so that I think he's the man of the hour, and we need him right this minute. And that's cool because we have him this minute. And I think we're going to be very much grateful in retrospect that we had Joe Biden. He's not appreciated now, but he will be. Just like I think, well, he'll probably be one of our greatest presidents. Yeah. Just Joe from Scranton. It's good. That's the American story, right? That Joe from Scranton could be one of the best presidents ever. He wasn't born like Washington and Lincoln, not Lincoln, Washington and Jefferson as landowners. He, he was his father's son, just a guy from Pennsylvania. All right, let's do a card reading on Joe. Hopefully this hasn't taken too long. Show me Joe Biden. What do we need to know? We'll look at a year out because a year from now, right? We'll he'll either be the president or not. Let's see what the cards say. All right, I'm using the Druid deck. No, I'm using the Wildwood deck in honor of Joe. Wow, man. That's the benefit of age, right? Octogenarian. And 8, the 81 is a 9. It's healing, right? But it's also the eighth, that eighth decade, or I guess it would be the ninth decade. Yeah, it would be the ninth decade. Again, is all the wisdom. And boy, do we need it. And I think, part of his magic is that he listens to, around, and then you know, comes to consensus. All right, Joe, what do we have? We have 15, the Guardian. This is a devil card. So he's up against the devil right now. I can make some guesses on that, but I'm not going to comment. The choice of the devil is to choose money over people. Let's see what's crossing that. Endurance, 5 of Pentacles. I feel like he's going to say something or do something that people don't really expect. But I think that he's waiting for his moment. Underneath it, we have the 4 of Cups. This is discontent, disillusion, like divine discontent. A bit of a quagmire, emotional quagmire here. Let's see what's in the past. This is the 6 of Pentacles, but in this deck, it's called exploitation. And this is, people, these worn-torn people, right? This could be, him helping the Ukraine. See what's in the sky. Rest. The need for rest. We all need rest, I think. Time to heal. In the immediate future, the 8 of Cups. This is the shadow. When you heal your shadow, it becomes the light that you shine. It's called rebirth in this deck. As I said, something is changing. This is a Pisces vibration. This man can't stand by and watch the suffering that's going on with our health. I don't think he can do it. How it's seen from the outside. The Ace of Cups. Wanting happiness, peace, serenity, all of that. The domestic situation. Mirror. This is the Hanged Man. It's as if he understands what he can and cannot affect. And he's bearing witness. And he's getting in the cosmic flow. He's using the 19 vibration, right? For 18 years. He's using all of the all of the energy of all the numbers to get through this period. Hopes and fears. Page of Arrows, the wren. I'd laugh because the wren is such a funny little bird and so loud. He hopes his voice is being heard. Outcome, like this. The 3 of Cups, friendship, camaraderie. We're going to be in a much better place a year from now. And he's going to be in a much better place a year from now. It's going to be celebration. 8 of Fire, hearth fire. Challenges, the 2 of Stone. Trying to balance budget. And the Knight of Arrows, the hawk. The hawk, keeping a sharp eye out. Honestly, I really think he's going to win the presidency. from these cards, even though I didn't ask that question. But he's facing down evil right now. And so I think we need to fill the space with light. The light of love to see, so people can see the truth and things can change. Let's see what's underneath it. The Eight of Stones, skill, hard work for many, 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 many years. The Empress, the green woman. This is all the women surrounding him. And the King of Bows, which is the snake that made its way out of the snake pile and is now at the top of the hill. This is his whole political career, and he's finally made it to the top of the hill. It's been hard work, inspiration, manifestation, and an ability to utilize his intuition. He's the man. So I think he's going to put his foot down where his foot needs to be put down. And he's going to open the lines of communication and compromise with those who are open to that. And to those who are not, I think he's going to come down heavy. So we'll see. That's what it looks like to me anyway. All right. Well, that's a little different in the news segment. They're all always a little different, right? But I think that you guys maybe wanted this. Somebody asked me, I think, about Joe, and he's a good man, and I'm sure a good grandpa. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I'm having a beginner's astrology class. We're focusing on the nodes of the moon and the Pluto. So it's the karmic axis and the lunation cycle if time permits. So you can still purchase the class. You don't actually have to be in the class. You'll get every video after every class if you purchase the class. But if you want to attend, it's from 7 to 9 on consecutive Mondays, beginning tomorrow, the 20th. Happy birthday, Joe. On Joe Biden's birthday. And it goes for 6 weeks. The 6th week, however, is Christmas. So we're going to move it 1 week forward, which is New Year's Day. So we'll be talking astrology to start the year, which should be fun. So I'll leave a link below so you can access that if you're interested. And if you're selecting, it doesn't make that much difference, but there's option 1 and option 2. Just press option 2. And even if you don't, and if you didn't press option 2, don't worry about it, because I know it's the only, besides my astrology salon, which I have on Tuesday nights, it's the only class I have right now. So if you put it in, I'll know that that's the class that you want. All right. So take care. I'll see you again next week. Pray for peace, be in peace, peace within, peace without, and let's send a whole lot of love and light to Joe. Okay, take care, everyone. Namaste.